Welcome to the Sikha of this week, Breishis, Beis, the second Sikha, in Chelek Yud Aleph on page 7. This is a very fundamental Sikha. That Sikha over here in the beginning of Parshas Breishis, about Vayemer Elokim Yehi Oyer. And after a year of the Likutei Sichos not being printed, this was the first Sikha in Tafshin Lamed Gimel that the Rebbe was Magia for Likutei Sichos that was then printed over here as the second Sikha in Chelek Yud. Vayemer Elokim Yehi Oyer Gaimer Hu HaMaimer HaRishain Shal HaMamoris Shebehem Nivra Ha'olam B'Sheishis Yemei Breishis. When the Eibishter says Yehi Oyer, this is the first Maimer that the Eibishter says of the Asar Mamoris. Hainu Shaha'oyer Hu HaMetzias HaRishaina. The light, Oyer, is the first thing that the Eibishter created, Shabara Kadosh Baruch Hu B'Yom HaRishon, in the first day of creation. Kaidim Shah Kol HaNevraim Shenivru B'Shah Yemei Breishis. Before all the rest of the creations created on the other days of Yemei Breishis. Tzarech Lahavin. So the question here is, L'chayre Halei Ein Inyan Amailas Ha'oyer B'Mitzius Silatzmai. Seemingly, there's no point, there's no advantage to having light just for itself. Kol toyalte v'chashivusai hu bezeh shenevroim zulasai nana mimeno. The whole purpose and significance of light is that creations that are outside of the light benefit from the light. So why is light being created before all of the rest of creations? They are the main purpose. They are the main thing that's being created, the creations. The light just provides the ability to see and to use things and access things through the light. But light shouldn't be the first thing. What benefit is there, or what purpose is there in the light before there's any other creations in the world that could have any benefit from this light? So we can't answer and say as follows, the fact that the creation of light comes before everything else, so that the light should be there prepared, that as soon as everything is created, it could immediately benefit from this light. Well, similar to what the Gemara says, why are all other creations created before the human being, even though Adam is the most important and the focus and the purpose of all of creation? So when he's being created, once he's created, everything else is prepared for him. So we can say the same thing over here, that the light is prepared and created in advance, so when everything is created, so then it has the light. It can benefit immediately from the light. If this would be the reason, so then the right time for light to be created should be before the Balei Chaim are created. The Balei Chaim, which could distinguish between light and dark, or maybe before the Tzimeach is created. Light has an effect on its growth, on ripening, and on its taste. That it's the light of the sun and the moon that gives a sweetness to the wheat that grows. So the light has a benefit for the Balei Chai, the light has a benefit for the Tzimeach. That should be the time when it should be created. Okay, and then move on. If so, the question comes back. Why is light created on the first day of creation? The first existence that derives benefit from the light, who is Hatzimeach, the vegetables and things that grow, it's created on the third day of creation. So, if anything, light should have been created on the second day, or right in the beginning of the third day of creation, before the Tzimeach is created. But why is light the very first thing created on Sheishis Yemei Breishis on the first day? Regarding this light created on the first day of creation, so the Gemara tells us, the Eibishter concealed, they hid this light, that only the tzaddikim, lasad lavai, will be able to derive the benefit from this light. So we could ask a question on this, similar to what we asked before. What's the essence of light? What's the purpose of light? It's to illuminate, to provide light. That the people or the whatever existence receives the benefit of this light should have a know from it. That's what light is all about, to illuminate, to reveal. So why was it hidden and concealed immediately after it was created? The exact opposite of what its purpose and focus and what the benefit of light is, that it's used for revelation, it's used to illuminate. There are reasons why the light was concealed. So there are reasons given for this, but it doesn't answer the question that Rebbe is asking here. And the question still remains. All of these reasons that the world is not able to use this light were all known to the Eibishter before this. The fact that the Eibishter creates this light, although the Eibishter knew that he's going to hit it right after he creates it. So this forces us to say that the creation of light serves a certain purpose that's important for the very existence of the world, so much so that it's created right at the beginning of creation. So on one hand, Eibishter conceals the light, yet it's created in the very beginning of creation, so it must be a very critical thing that's needed for creation right from the beginning. What is this? What's the reason that light is created right at the beginning, even though it's going to be hidden right away? Another question is Madisa B'Zoyar. In the Zoyar it says, Sha'or b'gematria roz, that Oir and roz have the same gematria. So the Rebbe gives an introduction about gematrias. What's the concept of a gematria? Gematria is not just open to anybody to take two words and create a gematria. It's not this gematria has a deeper meaning to it. Those gematrias that are mentioned in Torah, it actually indicates that there's a connection, a real deep connection between the two things. And it's expressed by the fact that these two words have the same gematria. So the gematria is of an expression that they share the same content. These two words share something between them. This idea of what a gematria is understood from what Alter Rebbe says in Tanya. When you have a certain chayis, the energy that creates something, and that chayis comes down from one level to the next, al yidei the gematriyos, one of the ways that it comes out and it comes down is through the gematria shein cheshbon oisius, which is the numerical value of the letters, ad sheyuchal lesamtzim or leslabish or leshavis mimenu nivra prati. So there's the original source of the energy that's in a certain word in Lashon Kodesh, and then that energy gets minimized and comes out in a different word that shares the same numerical value, and therefore it's an indication that it's taking from the very same energy and it's coming out in a more limited way. And therefore it only shares the same gematria, even though it's not the same word. That's the concept of a gematria. V'sham, the Alter Rebbe there says, the fact that they are only sharing the same number, the same numerical value, means that the chayis, the oir and chayis that's there in the original Lashon Kodesh word has been minimized. The number represents the numerical value of the energy, of the godly energy that there is in this word. So what do we see over here? When you have two words, that Chazal tell us that there's a relation between these two words because they have the same numerical value, the same gematria, there's a deeper content that connects the two words, that it's the same chayis that's there in one word that's coming down and being minimized and therefore also being expressed in a different word. So therefore, gematria is not just this external thing that you can just go ahead and make up any gematria. It's actually a connection between the content of the two words. Aval, if you move on, so now applying it over here to the gematria of oir and roz. Oir v'roz loy lebat shein lem shaychus elazeh. These two words, not only do they have no relation to each other, eladarab, on the contrary, in yani shel echad hu hafchi mishal chaveiroi. The meaning of one is the opposite of the other. Oir in yani gilui. Oyer is revelation. Vilu Raz, Said, Raz is a secret, Uhelam, concealment. The opposite of revelation. So how could they share the same gematria if the concept of a gematria is an indication that they have the same content? In our case, it's opposites. We can understand all of this to get a deeper idea of what the light is all about and the creation of light in the beginning, first day of creation. So we understand all of this. What it says right in the beginning of the Medrash, Breishis Rabbi at the beginning. The custom in the world is Melech wasavadam boine palten. A king builds a palace. He doesn't build it on his own. He has blueprints, he has markings of how he has plans how to build. To know what he's going to build, what's going to be coming out of this. So too, the Eibishter, when he creates the world, Kavayachal has blueprints of creation, how to create the world. So what do we see from this medrash? That the way the Eibishter creates the world, similar to the way it's done by a king of flesh and blood here in this world. The Hainu meaning, so the Rebbe explains what this means. That the Eibishter is bound in any way by the way things are customary to happen in this world. But what this means is, it's really the other way around. The fact that there's a certain custom in the world in a certain way, it's because this is the way the Eibishter did things. This is the order of things above. And it's from there that it comes down and it evolves here below, that this is the custom of the way things are done in this world. But the source of it is the way it's done l'mayla. Ella, however, with our little understanding, we see things from below. We see the outcome. We see over here below what it is. Person's here below, and that's what we see. From the way things evolve here below, we can derive and understand how things are in the source above. How it is above. So therefore, we always give examples for the Eibishter's conduct above to the way it is over here below. The Medrash is constantly, the Gemara, Chazal are always giving us examples of a Melech Basav Adam below. Not because the Eibishter is bound by any of the customs of nature, but because the things, the way they happen in this world, give us an idea of what happens above. Because everything in this world evolves from the world above. So that's the way we can understand what's going on, Lamaila. Al Kol Panim, be it as it may. We understand from this medrash here that the way it's customary here below, this is an example that we could learn from it to understand how the Eibishter went about creating the world as well. So what's customary in the world is when a person decides and is preparing to get something done. And it takes certain organization, there's details involved in this. So how do you approach this? The first thing is you have to clarify and establish what's the purpose, what's your objective here, what are you trying to accomplish with what you're doing. And only then, when the purpose is very clear and it's established, then you can set out to the details that you have to get done in order to reach that purpose. So similar, it's also by the Eibishter. When the Eibishter creates the world with the Asar Ma'amarais, Breishis Habriya, the very first thing of creation is Kavah Kadosh Baruch Hu Kavayachol Es Matarasa Shel Kol Habriya. The Eibishter sets and establishes what's the purpose of creation. V'rak lachreize, only following the setting of the goal and the purpose of creation, Keshamatare Kvar Arucha Ukvua, when it's firm and it's established, Maschil Seder Habriya Shalaylam Abruav. Then the Eibishter begins with the details to create every single thing in its time, in its place, on its day. This concept is like the lashon that we say, it's in the Chadaydi, this lashon, Seif Maisa b'machshavet chila. What comes out in the end, in the action, in the process, with all the details, there's a machshavet chila. There is the plan in the beginning that has the purpose of what this whole thing has to come out to accomplish when it's all done and prepared. Shesoifa Maisa, what is Soifa Maisa? Deine Tachliso Matarasa. Once you have it all finished and done, and then you could fulfill its purpose, that is what the person has in mind in the beginning, even before he sets out in the entire process of all the details that have to be done. So now bringing this back over here to creation, the Eibishter begins first with establishing the purpose of creation. So it's known, the Ikar HaKavana ve'atachlis b'briyas ha'olam. What's the purpose of creation? Olam milashon helem, a world which is created as the concealment and godliness. Shumaylu u'master alayir alakia m'chayeyu m'kaimeyu v'u'mokim ha'choshech v'ha'klippas, a world which is created with a concealment, a world of darkness, a world of klippah, hu levarer es ha'olam, to refine and elevate the world. U'lahavchei la'oir alaki, to transform the world into a place where the godly light should shine in it. Light is the purpose that's there right in the beginning, before any details get done in creation. Light is the very first thing to establish that everything is here to bring light into the world. The purpose and the shleimus of the whole creation and the world, the person as well, who lasts leisbarach dira, to create a dwelling for the Eibishter, v'izgalus ha'oir shenepach ma'achayshech, and the dwelling for the Eibishter is created by transforming a place of darkness into light, b'tachtainim, here in the world below, ba'ilam hazat tachtin, in this world below. That's the purpose of creation, light. To take a place in a world of darkness and of concealment and transform it and elevate it into a place of light. So now we understand why light is created, the very first creation in the beginning of creation. Before everything else. It's the light which the Eibishter establishes as the purpose of creation. When the Eibishter says the words Yehi Oir, what is the Eibishter saying? It's not just a creation of a specific creation of light. Rather, this statement of Yehi Oir is also referring to the entire future of everything that Hashem will create in the rest of the days of creation. Ha'olam, ha'kol pratav, of the world with all of its details and all of creations in it. Everything should be transformed and be light. That's the idea of Yehi Oir in the beginning of creation. It's not just the creation of a specific creation of light. It's establishing the purpose of all of creation before you begin the process with all the details. It's establishing in advance that this is the purpose of all of creation, to elevate and to bring light into the world. That's why it's the first creation. But now, based on this, we still have the following question. If you look further into the days of creation, at each part of creation, which is created on its specific day of the days of creation, it says at the end of that day's creation, and the Eibishter saw that what it created is good. The toiv koyal ha'oir. When it says it was good, it means that it was lichtig. There was light. The Eibishter saw the light in what he created. And as it says the first time when it talks about toiv, that the oir was good. So therefore from here we learn out that anytime it says toiv throughout creation, it also refers to the fact that the Eibishter created and saw light, an aspect of light in every single day's creation. What this means is the toiv hainu oir. When it says toiv, the first time the Torah writes ha'oir ki toiv, so from this we know that toiv always means oir. So now based on this it comes out the ha'oir b'maisa Breishis, light that was created in Maisa Breishis, hu lo rak kimatara kedemes. It's not only light that was created in the beginning and on the first day of creation to establish the purpose of creation. Light is something which continues being emphasized by the Eibishter that in everything Hashem creates. The Eibishter says, he sees the light in this. There's an aspect of light in everything He creates. So it's not just the purpose, but it's within every detail of creation. So how does this fit with the point that we said before, that light is there only at the beginning of the creation as the purpose for everything else that follows? But here we see that there's an aspect of creation of light every single day. The Gam, and also in Mamuvaleil, how would this fit with something else we mentioned before? That the light created on the first day, the Eibishter conceals light. And from this we understand that the light that the Eibishter creates is not something which is revealed and gets expressed within every single day of creation. Yet, here we see that every day the Eibishter says Kitayv. Every day the Eibishter sees the light in every detail of creation. Not just a light in the beginning of creation which gets concealed. So the answer here is that Rabbi will explain that there are two different aspects to light. There's the light in the beginning of creation, and then there's the light that the Eibishter sees in every single detail and every single day of creation. So now going back to the point that we spoke about before, that there's the purpose of a certain action or a certain creation that a person is doing. In the example that we're using by a person here below in this world. So the fact that a person has a certain purpose in his activity is expressed in two aspects. Aleph, number one, as this is expressed, before he gets anything done, before he starts out anything, he first has to establish his direction, his goal, his purpose. So there, this purpose is the main thing that the person is thinking about. He's focusing on figuring out what is my purpose before he gets anything done. That's the first point which we explained before. But then there's another point as well. Even after the person begins the process of what he's going to be working on and what he's doing, the purpose of what he's doing has to also be sensed to some degree the entire time, the entire process that he's doing in order to get to his goal. So all of the details should be in sync with the purpose of where he's trying to go. Although now he might be focusing on a specific detail of what he's accomplishing here, and in this action, in this detail that he's doing, you don't see the purpose, but the purpose will only be when the whole project is done. But in every detail as well, you have to sense the goal of how this detail will ultimately serve the purpose of where you're going to. So true, the purpose is not revealed and you can't focus on it while you're in the process of doing the details. It's not revealed with the same focus and expressed as much during the process of the details that you have to get done. But you do have that matara, which is the background, and it's sensed in every single thing that you're doing. Just not as revealed and not as focused as it is in the beginning. So we see here that this matara, there's two aspects to it. In the beginning, and then throughout the time when the entire process of everything that has to be done is getting done. So the same thing we can understand and apply as well. Gam b'matara hal yoinish kol habriya, the Eibishter's purpose of creation. As we explained, this is the light that was created in the first day. So there are two levels in this light and this purpose. Aleph, the first is madregas etzem oyer, the essence of the light, shahu mefurish b'teire, which the Teire explicitly tells us, vayar alekim es ha'oyer ki toiv. There's the light that's created at the beginning. It sets the whole purpose of creation, that everything is all about bringing light into the world. Ha'oyer atzmoi k'moishum mizgale b'yoyim u'mayim rishain kaidem misavusam shel kol nevraya olam u'kematarasam b'tachlisam. There's the light that's created and revealed on the first day when the Eibishter establishes the purpose of everything, the matara and the tachlis of everything. That's the essence of light. That's the general purpose of everything of creation. That's one point. That's what we spoke about earlier. But now also Beis, the second point is ha'ara u'me'ein me'ha'ara, there's a ray and somewhat of this light hanimshach b'chol ma'imeh v'nivra prati, that has to be felt and drawn into all the details of every single day of creation. It has to be the guidance. That light has there in the background. There's the guidance for every detail in creation of how it's going to help bring the world to its purpose. Sha'ir alaki yazeh hu anaisenes hakoyach v'av shares b'nevraim sheyasimu l'matarasan sheyahavchalai. This is what gives the ability and the guidance and the direction and the koyach for all Nevraim, that they are created not just as separate creations and separate details, but they're synchronized, they're helping one another. There's somehow they come together and they will all serve this ultimate purpose of transforming the entire world into light. Regarding this second aspect of the light, here the Eibishter calls it toiv. The word oir is not written explicitly. Hainu oir. Toiv does mean oir. Avaleinu begili mamish. It's not clearly written as light. Kiyim beremez. It's a hint. Helim, which means it's hidden. Kamei b'yom rishayin. It's not as revealed on the first day. And the first day it says vayomer lekim yihi oir. That's the time when the light and the purpose and the general purpose of the whole entire creation has to be very strong and focused on, to know before you go anywhere, before you go through the whole process, what is the point? That's what the focus is right now. Throughout creation, though, you have the light that's there as the driving force behind everything, Behelim, that's guiding the way everything is working throughout the time of creation, the whole process of creation. So now based on this, that the light created on the first day of creation, or created on the first day of creation, and also throughout creation you have the light. So those are the two levels here. Beginning of creation, and then throughout the time of creation. This also explains well both opinions that you have in the Zohar, or it's brought in the Maimorim of the Tzemach Tzedek, regarding light created b'yom rishon. What kind of light are we talking about? What level of light is this? Shehi aleph madreges hakeser. One opinion is that this light is a revelation coming from Keser. And Beis, second opinion is madreges hachesed. It comes from Chesed. So these are the two aspects of light that we spoke about. The zeo me'ahefrish beim b'chines Keser leb'chines Chesed. The two aspects of light is the difference between Keser and Chesed. Keser is above any of the details. It's the Eibishter's will and purpose and desire of what creation will be all about, before you get into the details of Ishtalshalos Eilamis. It's above, removed, higher than all of creation. It's the purpose of everything, all encompassing. The Eibishter's desire and will for creating and what his objective is here. Avol, madregas chesed. On the other hand, you have oir, which is the level of chesed. Shehi tchilas ha'ishtalshalos v'harishayna shebeshivas yimei habinyan. Chesed is the beginning of ishtalshalos. It's the beginning of the 7 days of creation and the beginning of the 7 spheres. So what is chesed? Chesed is when the creation itself actually begins. It's the Eibishter's chesed. It's the Eibishter's giving in creating. What is this chesed? The expression that it says in Zohar, chesed is the essence of all of the midas that follow. Chesed is the Eibishter relating and giving. All other midas is the same essence of chesed coming out in another way through each one of the spheres. The idea of all the spheres is the midas, they relate. And they give, they create, they relate. You can relate in a way of chesed, relate in a way of gvura, relate in a way of teferes, but it's all, the essence of all of them is the Eibishter relating and giving. So therefore chesed is already the beginning. That's the process of the revelation of the Eibishter as it comes out in the details of the creation of every day. Hainu, shekol ikra eshavos u'mesfiras hachesed. Creation primarily happens from the midah of chesed. That's the Eibishter's act of giving, creating. So this chesed is also the ray, the yemerishan and amsheches ki toiv chesed b'chol nivra b'sheish Breishis. So this is drawing from the first day of creation, from the general matara of keser, which is above and all-encompassing, it draws from there a ray of that purpose that it should be also present and the driving force behind all the details of every single day of creation, and that's expressed when the Eibusher says, Ki toiv, the chesed, the toiv, the goodness of the Eibusher, the giving, the act of giving in the actual creation, every single day of creation, that it should be fitting and in sync with the purpose of creation that was there in the beginning in the level of Keser. So now based on this we can come back and see why Oir and Raz, which seem to be opposites, have the same gematria. Oir will be gematria Raz, we can see the connection between these two words. Just like it is, let's go back to our analogy of a person. The purpose that a person establishes before any activity that he does, so that's something that while he's actually involved in the process and the actions that he has to do and the details, so that purpose that he established in the beginning, so that's just there in his mind, guiding the actions that he's doing. But the ikr is galusa shalamatara bepoil mamish. When do you actually have the fulfillment of the purpose, ubechol milua, fully fulfilled and revealed and expressed, udafke b'siyama pulav ashlamasa? When you finish the entire process of whatever you're building or whatever you're working on, whatever project it is, when it's all done and prepared and ready, here the purpose is fully revealed. Like we said before, seif ma'asav machshav tchila. But during the entire time and process when a person is doing the details and preparing and going through the steps that he has to get to the purpose, so then the purpose is concealed. That's there guiding what he's doing in his head. That's guiding him. But he's actually involved at every moment, at every day. He's involved in different specific details of this entire huge project. The entire time of the process where different things have to get done, the purpose that he's going for in the end is concealed, and it's not what he's not his focus at this point. He's not right now thinking constantly about the purpose. The purpose is just there to guide what he's doing, but he's now involved in specific details. He only thinks about the purpose as much as it's necessary to guide what he's doing to get to the end point. But it's only at the beginning when the person makes the plan and creates that purpose, when he's focusing on the purpose. And it's only at the end when he comes to the completion of the entire process and of the entire project that the fulfillment of the purpose comes out and is fully expressed. Same thing is also above by the Eibusher. The purpose of creation is light. When is this purpose fully revealed? When the world will come to its fulfillment, when the purpose of the world will be reached. This is not only at the end of the 6 days of creation, but the world will reach its purpose at the end of the 6,000 years when the world will be fully refined and elevated. Until the end of times, the light is there and it's active and it's guiding everything in creation to go in that direction. It's sort of a secret. It's sort of just in the background. It's guiding everything. It's concealed until it will come out and be fully expressed and revealed in its fulfillment when Mashiach comes. So this is the meaning of what Razal tells us, that the light that was created was concealed until Asad Lavai. So the Rebbe's question was, why was it concealed? So what this really means is, yes, it's there, it's created in the beginning of creation. Light is that purpose that you focus on in the beginning. But then, when you get into the process of the details, in order to get to the fulfillment of this purpose, so the purpose that was there, you were focused on in the beginning, now is nis'alam. Now it goes sort of in the background. Now you're busy with the process and the details until you will finally come to the fulfillment of the purpose, lasad lavai. Omnam genize. The idea of it being hidden. It doesn't mean that it goes away, that we forget about the purpose. It's there. The purpose is there constantly. It's just hidden. As we explained before, as we see that light, an aspect of the light is there, it's present there in all the 6 days of creation. The Rebbe keeps on saying Kitayv, because that light is there, it's the background that's guiding everything throughout creation. So therefore, there's a geniza of the light. It's not that the light goes away, the light is nignas. It's concealed and it's the driving force behind everything throughout creation. But it's a gniza. It's hidden. Where is this light created? And from the place where it's hidden, it gives an influence and it guides and directs things in creation. Amru Chazal, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Gonzei b'Teira. The Eibishter hides the light in Teira, and it's the place in Teira that gives the guidance and the influence of this light in every single day of creation, all the 6,000 years until we come to the fulfillment of the purpose of creation. So why is it concealed in Teira? Bir Adavar, the explanation of why light is concealed in Teira. K'moi b'chol pu'ula. Just like it is, again, going back to our analogy, when a person is going to do something and he has a purpose and he has a certain process, harei move on, it's understood, sha'amatore mis'alemes v'nignezes at mara pu'ula b'toicha shalapula atzma. The purpose, where is the purpose concealed? Where is it hidden? Within the actions, within every single action that he's doing in the process to get to the purpose, so you have the driving force and the guidance of the purpose that's there, hidden within the actions that he's doing. Tahainu shehi tmuna b'inyane pu'ula ke'elu shal yadam hi mechavenes as ha'pu'ula letachlisa. So the light, the purpose is there. It's a driving force that's concealed within the actions that he's doing in order to bring the actions to his purpose. So too we can understand also regarding where is the light of beginning of creation, the purpose of creation hidden. This is the purpose of all of creation. So where is this light hidden? Which actions in the world will bring about the revelation and the full fulfillment of that transformation of bringing everything elevated and revealing the light in the world? What is it which actions do this? The actions are to learn Torah and to fulfill mitzvahs. They elevate the world. They reveal the light in the world. It's through learning Torah and doing mitzvahs that you elevate the world, you bring the light into the world to its fulfillment, to its purpose. So we understand from this, so the purpose of creation is sort of hidden, is in the actions of doing a mitzvah and learning Torah. That's the light, that's the purpose of creation where it's been hidden. So since all of the avodah that a person does, the mitzvahs that a person fulfills, it comes how? Is guided from what? It comes from Torah, from the person learning Torah. The greatness of Torah is that you learn Torah, it guides you and it leads you to action. So where's the light of creation? The purpose of creation, where is it found? It's found in Torah. Torah guides a person and it guides him to do mitzvahs, and that brings the purpose of creation to be fully fulfilled when Mashiach comes. So that's the meaning of what Chazal tell us, that the Torah is the place where the light and purpose of creation, which is light, is found. So we understand based on this why the Oyer and the Raz have the same gematria, because that's the nature of the Oyer. The Oyer is that hidden guiding force that's behind everything in creation. So the Oyer is a Raz. Throughout the process of all of the 6,000 years that the world exists, the Oyer is hidden like a secret. The lesson that we take from all of this, in our serving the Eibishter, simple and clear for everyone to see. When the Eibishter says there should be light, this is the purpose of all of creation. That a person should refine his portion in the world, transform everything into a place of light. As long as a person has not illuminated the world around him with the light of Torah and mitzvahs, even if a person was successful in eliminating the negativity, the darkness that exists in the world, a person that is abstaining of doing any aveda, so he's not involved in any negative activity, that is. But on the other hand, he has not yet increased and brought and elevated and transformed the world into the light, the purpose of creation, the asay tova aspect. So if a person just is satisfied with staying out of trouble and staying away from doing any aveda, and he's sort of abstained from the activity, he's removed the chayshach of the world, that's not enough. That doesn't fulfill the purpose of creation. He hasn't fulfilled his purpose. He hasn't fulfilled the intention and purpose of creation. The general purpose of creation. And the purpose of the creation of a person specifically. It's not just about removing the negativity and the darkness of the world. That's just a preparation to be able to do the Aveda. But rather the main purpose is lifail heder manias achayshach. This is it's not only to get rid of the sur mirah, to get rid of the ra, and to remove any darkness that there is in the world. Kiyim, rather, gam beikir ha'aveda devasei tov. Primarily, a person's aveda is to increase the good in the world. Lasis v'lafech es ha'olam lo'er v'tov, to transform and elevate the world into a place of goodness and light. So what a person has to be asking himself is not about am I being good by abstaining from and just doing everything that in a way that there's no negativity in my life. No, a person has to be driven by the purpose of creation. The purpose of creation is to spread light, to add more Torah mitzvahs, and to bring more light into the world. And just as we explained before, that the order of creation and the purpose of creation, we could see the way the Eibush created the world. So Aleph number 1, Shebniyad Breishis Abriya. Immediately at the beginning of creation, B'yayim Rishon and B'mayim Rishon, the first day and the first utterance. Kava Kadosh Baruch Hu es mataras, the Eibush establishes its purpose. The Eibush begins right away with Yehi Oyer. And only then does he set out to the process of creation and creating all the details on its day. That's one point. And Beis, but Shemiyidach Gisa, on the other hand, as we pointed out, in every day of creation, the Torah says Toiv, that there's the good, there's the aspect of light that's there in every day of creation. There's the light of the Eibishter, and there's the guidance of the purpose is there, and it's the background of everything that's being created in every single day. So we could learn from this also regarding the Seder of a person's Avodas Hashem. Aleph, the same thing by a person, when a person wakes up the first thing in the morning. Every day in the morning. Similarly also, every hour. A person wakes up in the morning, he's a new creation. Like the first day of creation. The first thing is, in the beginning of the day, a person has to have that clarity, that light, that should establish the purpose of the day. That has to be very firmly established and engraved, and it should resonate with him. That the purpose of all of his actions are that it should be light. That has to be there in the beginning of the day. It should be very clear. What am I waking up for? Maybe she gave me a new day, a new life, all to bring light into the world. After you have this firm resolution, then you could go to all of the details that you have to accomplish throughout your day. And then if you have that strength and that clarity in the beginning of the day, it'll guide you. It'll be able to take you in the rest of your day. But Beis, in addition to this, a person has to make an extra effort Even when you get involved in certain details of your day and you go about all kinds of things that you do and you can forget, how does this detail fit into the general purpose of what I'm here for? So you have to make an effort, even when you're involved in certain details, to connect it back and see that it's all being done for a purpose. That it should feel, it should be present in everything he does, that there's a light here, there's a guiding light, and there's a purpose in everything that I'm doing. Just as this is true regarding the creation in general. The purpose of creation is light. The same is also true regarding the specific creation of an existence of darkness. The very darkness itself. Why does the Eibusher create darkness in the world? There's all kinds of things created in the world, but then there's the darkness itself, the existence of darkness. Why? So the Rebbe says it's not only there's one purpose, which would be so that a person should be the one to make his choice. When you serve the Eibusher, it should be your avodah that you're choosing the light over darkness. If there wasn't an existence of darkness and negativity in the world, then it wouldn't be the person choosing light. Everything is just light. If this is the only purpose of the creation of darkness, the darkness itself does not serve any purpose for itself. It's a vehicle, it's just a means to the fact that this enables a person to choose. If not for the fact that there's darkness, it's not your choice. So the Eibusher creates darkness, so your Avodas Hashem should be your choice to choose light. That's one aspect, but it goes even deeper. In the very darkness itself, there's a purpose with this creation of darkness. It's this darkness that's going to be transformed and elevated to become light. This darkness is not just a means to an end, and then we leave the darkness behind us and we don't care about the darkness. It's just to get the person to make a good choice. No. The very darkness itself will be included and elevated and transformed in a person bringing light into the world. The Rebbe concludes, now a person might think to himself, how does a person have the power to take a world that's toyu, vavoyu, and choshech, it's dark, and sometimes it looks like a jungle, to transform it into light? To take the very existence of darkness itself and transform it into light, how does a person have the power to do this? Therefore the Torah begins right away, Breishis. And what does Rashi tell us on Breishis? B'shvil Yisrael shenikra Reishis, b'shvil HaTorah shenikra Reishis. The purpose of creation is for Yidden and for Torah that are called Reishis. The whole purpose of creation lichatchila was for Yidden and for the Torah. In other words, this is the true existence of creation. At its core, what is creation? Yeah, we see the darkness, we see the concealment, and so on. But really, the pnimius of the existence of creation itself is all for the purpose of Yidden. That Yidden should transform the world into light. So since this is the purpose, this is the true existence of creation, this is the biggest assistance that the Eibusher gives us to be successful in this Aveda. What you're doing is revealing the true purpose of what the world really is. Through our Aveda, throughout the 6,000 years, to illuminate the world with the light of Torah and mitzvahs. Niske, legilui, le'asid, sheizgala ha'or, shenivra b'yem rishain, will be zeichet to the revelation of this light that was created in the first day of creation. That it won't be the source of light will not be the sun. Rather, the Eibusher himself will be the source of light. Bibias, Mashiach, Tzidkenu, with the arrival of Mashiach, B'korev, Mamish.